Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's absolutely fantastic to see you, to see such a great crowd, of course, and of course all the displays that many of you have brought with you, which is fantastic as well. It's nice to be in a part of the world that's not actually raining at the moment, although I suspect it's going to be before long. But yesterday I was at an event down in Castlebar, and it absolutely belted rain all the way from Dublin down to Castlebar, as it does in the west, as you know probably yourselves anyway. And then this morning coming back, the weather in the west was again poor, so you're getting a kind of a lucky break. But at least we're indoors. The idea of the thing yesterday was, it's one of them, I suppose, about hosting any events, no matter how important they are, at this time of the year, in November or December or whatever. And what the good people of Castlebar were doing was they were putting a defibrillator on the side of the road near the new bypass in Castlebar. And this was just in case anybody had a medical emergency, that there was a defibrillator available, and they're putting a big effort in County Mayo and hoping to spread it beyond that, to have things like this available on roadsides. Sometimes you get them in a centre like this or in a GEA club or whatever the case is, but by and large they're not broadly available out in the wider community. So that was the idea of what we were doing yesterday. The only problem about it was that there was a photo shoot at the end of it. And as I said, because it was raining in Castlebar, it was one of those things, you're standing on the side of the road, and like a lot of professional photographers, with all due respect to one or two who's here with us here today, they want to get the shot right. Of course they do, you know. And you're standing there in the rain, and you're thinking to yourself, this is very important. Let's be patient here. This is a very good initiative, and fair play to the people of Castlebar. Now, would you just take the friggin' photograph and let's get out of here? But anyway, as I said, fantastic to see you all here. Thank you so much for being with us. We have a couple of speakers. I hope you're going to find them interesting. I think that you will. Would you welcome first, please, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see here on my left-hand side, and welcome to this national conference, the Minister for Rural and Community Development, Heather Humphreys, TD. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael, and good morning, everyone. And I'm delighted to be joined here this morning by local councillors Winston Bennett, Trevor Smith and TP Riley. Thanks for being here, because I know you're busy men. To the CEO of the Irish Men's Sheds Association, Enda Egan, distinguished guests, and can I just say a very special welcome to all our shredders. And I'm delighted that you're here in my own constituency of Cavan and Monaghan, in this wonderful centre here on the Virginia showgrounds. So can I first of all say that I'm delighted to be addressing your first ever national conference and Shedfest. And to the ladies that made and served the tea, I want to say a huge thank you. Now, those scones with the jam and cream were to die for. But now somebody said to me, you know, all the men here, and it's the women that serving the tea, but I have to say, when I go to the men's sheds, the men make the tea, and they're very good at it. So there you go. I understand that there are some 210 shedders who are here today, who have registered for the event. And I know that you have a very busy schedule, and you're going to hear from a number of guest speakers. So I have no doubt you will have a wonderful and jam-packed day, and it really is a great privilege for me as Minister for Rural and Community Development to officially open your conference, because I think by now you know that I'm a big fan of the men's and the women's sheds. Our men's sheds are very much part of a national movement that is making such a positive difference in communities, the length and breadth of this country. Because what you do is you provide a safe, inclusive and welcoming place for men of all ages to come together, to socialise, to work on various projects, or to just have a bit of company and have that chat with one another. And my goodness me, you work on projects. What a wonderful display of projects this morning. It crosses so many different areas, and it really is a credit to you. And it'll do your heart good now to go around and see all the wonderful pieces of art and of practical implements. And I think of a good of putting you put the handles back in gardening equipment there. I see some really good repair work done. So it ranges across art and crafts and everything, and it is a credit to you. And I know that you take wonderful pride in your work, and I know there's a bit of competition between some of the men's sheds as well. We're heading into the winter months now, and the days are shorter and the evenings are getting darker much, much earlier. So the service that you provide in the men's sheds are particularly invaluable at this time of year when isolation and loneliness can kick in. As you know, in my role as Minister for Rural and Community Development, it does allow me to get out and about and all over the country to visit towns and villages right across rural Ireland. And I can tell you one thing, the contribution that our men's sheds are making in their communities is second to none. Just like our Tidy Towns volunteers, you're a credit to your communities and you very much keep the show on the road. And I know that you do so with the support and guidance of the Irish Men's Sheds Association under your CEO, Enda Egan. And I think it's incredibly impressive that there are some 435 men's sheds registered with the Irish Men's Sheds Association. Some are bigger and are more active than others, but all 435 men's sheds, they are special and they're very unique in their own way. So you might remember last year, Enda, I visited the Dublin 12 men's shed in Kimmage. I had a great day out there as well. And you remember too that I did bring some good news, and I was in a position to announce 800,000 in funding for our men's shed. So I did that last year. Well, I don't think it'd be fair for you all to come all the way up here to this wonderful centre in Virginia early on a Monday morning and listen to me without me bringing you a wee bit of more good news. So I'm absolutely delighted this morning to announce €1 million in funding. Well, thank you. And do you know what it is? It is money well spent, because that's going to see some 435 men's sheds supported with grants of up to €3,000. And that money can be paid, to pay your heating or your electricity bills, or maybe carry out some small bit of repairs that you need done to the premises. Can I just say that I'll have to give the men in Belturbet a shout out, because Michael there, he got on to me when I was the minister, appointed first as minister, and he said to me, Heather, he says, you'll have to come down and see what we're doing in Belturbet. And they brought me in, and they had Enda there as well, and they outlined all the wonderful work. So the men's shed in Belturbet, I have to say, they kicked the ball in and I picked it up. So now, you know, I wear two ministerial hats because I'm also the Minister for Social Protection. So I have a bit of other good news today as well, so I might as well tell you when I'm here, because this morning I approved the payment of 3 different cost of living lump sum supports that really will help hundreds of thousands of households nationwide. So from today, a €300 fuel allowance lump sum will be paid to 409,000 households. Between Wednesday and Friday of this week, a €400 disability grant will be paid to 214,000 people with disabilities, and this includes disability allowance, the invalidity pension and the blind pension. And finally then on Thursday, a €400 lump sum working family payment will be paid to 45,000 families in respect of 97,000 children. So that means that just this week alone, my Department of Social Protection will be paying out €230 million in cost of living lump sums to families and households. And of course, and there's 6 more lump sum payments to follow between next week and the end of January. And that's all part of what was the largest social protection budget in the history of the state. And it underpins my commitment as Minister and this government's commitment to continue to support our pensioners, our carers, our people with disabilities and working families. But back to today's event, I really do want to thank each and every Men's Shed for your work, your dedication and for playing such a key role in each community where you live. You've rallied to support your members across the country, and this inclusive approach is what keeps communities across Ireland together. Your community spirit, your positive attitude is clear to see and is something that I have had the pleasure of experiencing in many towns and villages all over the country in the past few years. And if I get time at all, I always like to drop in to see the men's sheds when I'm visiting an area. I really would like to express my appreciation for the tremendous work of the Irish Men's Sheds Association and all the men's and women's sheds throughout Ireland. And as I say, don't forget about the grants. Get the word out now. Each shed is entitled to a grant of up to €3,000. And Enda and his team at the IMSA will provide you with all the support and all the guidance you need to draw down the money. And finally, I really would like to thank Enda on behalf of your association for inviting me here today. And I want to thank Enda for all the wonderful work he does, because I know he supports you. Yeah, in his own quiet way, and he's there, and he's there when you need him, and he's done a lot of work in building capacity within the organisation. So I really want to wish you every success in the work you're undertaking, all the very, very best for the future. Have a great Shedfest, and I look forward to visiting more of your sheds soon. Go raibh míle maith agaibh go léir.